here we are, we're going to hear pitches, right? But the reality is, you as South Africans are on the edge of a new industry, right? There's crowdfunding that's now coming to South Africa. It's now becoming legalized. And you as businesses have a responsibility to get your ideas ready so you can raise money. Over the next 12 months, you'll probably see about 5 to 10 of these crowdfunding companies and networks and communities developing. We're already seeing new stock exchanges coming online. How are you going to be able to get that capital? Back to the story, right? The only way to get rich and be successful is fast. But the only way you do it is if you're ready, which means you have to get your documents, right? You have to get your documents in place, and you have to get ready to actually raise that capital. So crowdfunding is a method of raising capital through collective efforts. I'm sure everyone here knows what crowdfunding is. And basically what it is you put the information on the internet, and it enables individuals to pool and tap together and invest inside of your company. And they actually basically pledge to invest in your idea online. And it's billions have been raised inside of the US and Canada. I know that in the mining sector alone, part of the old speech that I do, that I'm not doing tonight, there is a group called Klondike, and they raised $400 million in the last 2 years for junior mining companies through crowdfunding. So, how many people think that would help the junior mining market here in South Africa? Right? It will, of course. And so these are the types of solutions that are coming into place now. It's up to us as South Africans with businesses to be ready to get that capital. So the approach taps into the collective efforts of a large pool. Traditionally, you shop your idea around, but in this case, instead of having individual VC capital people invest, all the people usually put money into a fund are deciding if they want to invest in you directly. So crowdfunding platforms give you, the entrepreneur, a single platform to showcase and share and pitch your resources. And this approach streamlines raising capital. Basically digitalizes the financial sector. You as an individual are not running around anymore with a subscription agreement, trying to get people to sign documents, give you checks, and put money in your bank account. Hope it clears. Instead, it's going into an escrow account and raising money digitally. If you're ready for that, you can raise capital quickly. It's a new shift in trend in raising capital quickly. So the compounding efforts of crowdfunding, more companies listing, so the more companies that go on it, the more investors that go on it, the faster people can raise money. So crowdfunding as it builds a big community and pool that raises money. The more companies listing in general, the more investors in the platform, the larger the pool grows, faster projects are financed, and that's how it works. What do you need to know? It's not simple, okay? You need 5,000 plus Facebook followers, right? You need 5,000 plus Twitter followers. You need 100 plus LinkedIn connections. You need traffic, you need a newsletter, you need a website, you need PR, you need to be publishing articles, you need to be putting information out there, you need to be actively trying to develop a community on the internet and locally, you need to be networking in events and showing people your campaign online. But if you're gonna be successful, this is what you need to do. You need to start preparing for this now. You need to get people interested in your product. If you've got a loyalty card company, you want every single one of them on your Facebook, so that when you go to raise capital, you can ask them all for money through crowdfunding, right? Successful campaigns have videos, interviews and exposure, articles, publications, integration into traditional methods, which I talked about, right? Integration into your email signatures as you run the campaigns. We're raising money, check us out. All these things actually work towards raising capital. Word of mouth, breaking down your audience online into community influencers, fans, right? Active advisors, people who actually put time into the campaign. Companies should usually try to secure 30% of the financing for their business outside of a platform before going on. Because usually if you raise 30% before going on the platform, the other 70% is easy, because the financiers looking at it already see that there's money and skin in the game. So these are all statistics and hacks in the crowdfunding sector. It looks great, right? Here's an example. All that information I just told you about being prepared for, right, goes onto a simple website. And people can click, I'm interested, right? I want to invest. You look at the success rate during their crowdfunding campaign, the money that they've raised, the team that they've built, right? Right. And that's basically you have online documents. Basically, inside of the online documents that you have there, you basically have your deal room with all of the different documents I told you to prepare that people can log in and do their due diligence. Letters of intent, MOUs, funding commitments, subscription agreements, right? Clear asking price, time frame, minimums and maximums. That's the type of information you put on there. This automates your financing. Now, why is it so important that I talked about crowdfunding? Well, because the type of preparation that I'm telling you guys right now, there's several of the companies that are here today. I could probably take your business. And if you had all of this documentation, we might even be able to skip the crowdfunding, and I could put you right into a public company. I could raise money through the capital markets because you have all of that documentation prepared. But maybe we start off and do some crowdfunding first, build up a base of investment, and then take you public and give all of those people an exit strategy, right? In South Africa, what you have to think about now, right, is that it's not just the JSE. We remember the JSE, right? That was the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. That was the only stock exchange in South Africa. But the landscape's changing for entrepreneurs, right? We now have Zarex, A2X, for Africa Exchange. We have Equity Express. We have an OTC market called Lanty OTC. We have Uprise Africa, who's inside of the crowdfunding market, but also will probably move into the OTC markets, right? And we have a application that's been put in for a new stock exchange that may or may not get an exchange, but they're in there to grow and with a variety of different options, from crowdfunding to OTC to small businesses, called the South African Financial Exchange. This is all there. How many of us have been ready? I can tell you, South Africa wasn't ready for this. Because I can tell by the number of companies that are listing on their exchanges. Those exchanges, they have people ready to invest in companies, but nobody has the paperwork ready to list on them. Can you imagine this? So we actually built these wonderful stock exchanges. We have thousands of businesses here in South Africa, but they're not listing on the exchanges because they haven't got the documentation ready yet, right? They're entrepreneurs that haven't got their businesses yet. Mining companies that haven't had the chance to put together their 43101 or SAMREC report yet so that they can list as a mining asset. So we're not ready yet, but there's so much potential there. When we are ready, we will be raising so much money. And our economy will grow in the small business sector. But all it takes is for us to be ready. When we take a look also, there's this other crazy phenomenon, cryptocurrencies, right? They're actually talking about cryptocurrencies globally and think that cryptocurrencies will actually bypass the trading of shares in companies on a value per value basis. Now, there's exchanges out there. Luno, this is a South African one. Binance, Bittrex, Bitfinex, Poloniex, HitBTC, and then of course this is one that isn't licensed yet, but they're looking at launching in Africa called AfroBitX. So the reality is that there's also alternative ways of financing through cryptocurrencies. And this is all happening in South Africa. And guess what? In South Africa, there isn't a lot of regulations around it. So it's still a major opportunity for South Africans to use this. But are we ready for it? Well, in order to do it properly, we need all that documentation I told you about. So how many people here actually feel like if they got that documentation together, you could actually raise money? After you've seen all the venues and possibilities that I just showed you, and all the different organizations that could raise money. So that's the key to your success, is being ready for it, right? The money is out there, but you have to be ready for it. So the reality is, usually I talk about focusing on the right investors, prospects, and lead sources, right? With the right frequency of contact, with the right database tools and documentation to show the value of your project, right? So when we're going out there, I've just showed you all the different venues we could go, but focus on the right investors and prospects and lead sources, the people who invest in you, with the right frequency of contact, the right tools and documentation, and you'll raise the money. You have to put time and genuine assistance, create relationships, and make sure that your schedule is not just full with your friends, that you're going to be drinking beer with every day, or that you're having coffee with the same people, that you actually take the time to make a schedule and invest your time into meeting the right VCs, going and seeing the people for crowdfunding, coming out to these events, and trying to raise the capital through the internet, right? Through creating relationships. Because the reality is, if you're prepared, the money is out there. So thank you very much.